flip, change, dividing fractions. Welcome. But why do we do that? Do you know? You need to watch this video. I'm very excited about it and I hope you are also after watching this video. Welcome to Ninson's Math Solutions. I'm so excited about dividing fractions and can't wait to show you the first principles behind keep, flip, and change. Now remember, when dividing fractions, we are told that we should keep, flip, and change. What that means is we should keep the first fraction. We should flip upside down the second fraction. And we should change the division sign to multiplication. Now, have you ever wondered why this always works for dividing all fractions? I'm gonna show you and I can't wait. Okay, but before I show you that, let's apply keep, flip, change to dividing these two fractions. Okay, if I want to divide these two fractions by keep, flip, change, if I keep the first one, I'll get 2/3. If I flip the second one, I'll get 4/3. Flip it upside down, the reciprocal. Okay, and then when I change division, I'll get multiplication here. So per my video on multiplying fractions, if you haven't yet watched it, I will encourage you to do so. It says multiply across the top. So 2 times by 4 is 8 and 3 times 3 is 9. Therefore my answer is 8/9. Now, why does this work all the time? Let's look at the 1 meter square. Okay, the 1 meter square. The 1 meter square, where is 1 by 1. Okay, 1 meter by 1 meter. I'm going to split this into 2/3 and then into 4/3 and see what happens. So I'm going to have my thirds going this way. So that's 1 there, 2 there, and 3 there. So I want 2 lots of my thirds going this way. So from there to there, I've got 2/3. And then I want my 4/3. So I'm gonna split it into thirds. Sorry, I want 3/4. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, not that. Okay, we're looking at 3/4. So I'm gonna split into quarters. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So from there to there, I've got my 3/4. All right, now you'll notice that my 2/4, I go this way. Okay, so the 2/4, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That all of them here are my 2/4. So these 2/4, there's 8 of them. Okay, so I'm gonna write 8 of them, and these 8 of them I'm gonna divide, which is the fractions sign. Okay, I'm gonna divide by my 3/4. So 3/4 go that way. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Okay, so technically you can see that my answer to 2/3 divided by 3/4 is 8/9. Let's see if that works for another example. Okay, and make sure we understand that. So let's go another example. Let's just say I want to do 4/5 and I want to divide 4/5 by, let's say, 2/7. Okay, so I'm gonna have this 4/5 divided by 2/7. So I'm gonna have my 1 meter square drawn. Now this is gonna be looking big because of the fact that we've got fifths and sevenths, so make sure we understand what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna split this into fifths. So I've got 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, and then 4 and 5 there. So my 4/5, I want 1, 2, 3, 4. So from there to there is what I'm interested in. 4/5 this way. Now I need to have my 2/7. Okay, so I'm gonna split this into sevenths. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I want 2 of them, so the 2 of them will be here. From there to there, that's 2 of my 7ths. Remember, I want 4/5, which is this bit, divided by 2/7. Okay, so I'm gonna try and work out my 4/5. So 4/5 are from here all the way there, including these ones. Okay, so I'm gonna count how many little squares will make my 4/5 here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 of them. So my 4/5, there is 28 of them. Okay, so I'll write it there. Now my 2/7, how many of them are there? Okay, so I'm gonna work it out. My 2/7 are from there, there, there. Okay, just this bit there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of my 2/7. They are dividing there, so that is 10 there. Okay, so now I could see that I've got 28 tenths, and I can divide or simplify my fraction if I want. So basically, if I simplify that, I'll get 14/5, and as a mixed number, that will be 2 wholes and then 4/5. Okay, and that is my answer. This is very, very important that we understand that. Okay, that is one way of proving why it kind of keeps, flips, and change. Now let's look at another way. Why does it really flip upside down? Okay, so let's look at it. Before we look at why it flips on it, we need to understand the term reciprocal. Okay, reciprocal simply means flip it upside down. So if I want the reciprocal of, let's say, 2/3, my answer will be 3/2. Okay, it says flip upside down because I find the reciprocal. If I want to find the reciprocal of, say, 4 is the same as 1/4. Now in maths, this is what happens. Whenever I multiply a number by its reciprocal, I get 1. Okay, so this first fact, if I have 2/3 and I multiply it by 3/2, because I've reciprocated 2/3, when I multiply, I'll get 6/6, and that is 1. So anytime you multiply a number by its reciprocal, you get 1. That's number fact, the first fact, number 1. Okay, when a number, so you can take note of this, is multiplied by its reciprocal, you get 1. Okay, that's number 1 fact. The second fact that we need to know, pay attention carefully, is that when I divide a number by 1, I get the same number. Okay, that means if I get 4/5 divided by 1, it is still 4/5. Nothing changes. And then remember, divide is the same as the fraction line. Okay, so if I have 4/5 and I have a fraction and I have 1, it's the same as 4/5 divided by 1, which is just 4/5. Now these are preambles that will help you to understand the second reason why we keep, we flip, and we change the second the division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction when we divide in fractions. Okay, so let's look at this. If I have a same examples, I want to use the same examples here. 4/5 divided by 2/7. Okay, so if I have 4/5 and I want to divide it by 2/7, first of all, remember that the division sign is my fraction sign. So I could rewrite this as 4/5 divided by 2/7. Okay, now I know if I can turn this bit at the bottom here to be 1, then I can keep the bit at the top as my answer. So if I've got 4/5 and I'm dividing by 2/7, how do I change 27 to 1. It is when I reciprocate it. So when I invert it and multiply it by itself, it becomes 1. That means, however, that I have changed this fraction. So I need to multiply the top also by 7 halves, because if I don't do that, I have changed the question. Now you'll notice immediately that we already know how to multiply fractions. So across the top is 28, across the bottom is 10. Here, because I've inverted it and I'm multiplying a fraction by its reciprocal, that gives me 1. And we know from our preamble number 2 that any number divided by 1 is the number itself. So that will be 28 over 10. And of course, we can simplify it again to be 14 over 5, which will be our 2 wholes and 4/5. Okay, now let's look at another example to help us here. So the last example that should help. So if I've got 3/4 and I'm dividing that by, let's say, 4/5, okay, and I want to make sure that I'm able to use this idea to help me. First of all, I know this is the same as 3/4 over 4/5, okay, because this line here means division. Okay, that's what it means. All right, now for me to make sure the bottom number is 1, I need to multiply by its reciprocal. Okay, so we multiply by its reciprocal. Once I've done that, I do the same thing to the top, so that's also by its reciprocal. Across the top, I will get 15 over 16, and across the bottom I will get 1. A number divided by 1 is the number itself, so that means that my answer is 15 over 16. Again, that goes to prove that when we multiply fractions, we keep, we flip, we change. Thank you. Now I hope you know why we keep, flip, and change when we're multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay, in dividing fractions, remember, we think about the reciprocal. I hope this video helped you. Don't forget to continue to watch my videos, share them, like them, subscribe to them, because more of such videos will be coming. And don't forget to also visit my website at ninsonsmathsolutions.co.uk. Thank you.